Hello, and welcome to another edition of Perspective 254. The name is Riggy Kesa, as usual. Now, Mr. Rigathi Gachagua is tossed. Yeah, I can measure. The rumors of his impeachment have now moved on from just being mere rumors of secret night meetings to an actual reality for Mr. Rigathi Gachagua. This impeachment story is now the talk of the town in Kenya. Right now, anything, and I mean anything in Kenyan politics, sounds irrelevant compared to this impeachment story. No one cares about the price of unga, or no one cares about how much Dr. Ruto spent on that flight to New York for the unga conference. Unga, see what I did there? Anyways, Saizi, all eyes are on Riggy and whether or not, in a month's time, he will still be our deputy president. Mr. Gachagua, true to form, is not just about to go down without a fight. That is not his style. He's got to put up a fight. Now, apparently, he has a strategy to counter all this impeachment and nonsense. It is a six-pronged strategy that might just be able to save his skin. And of course, yours truly over here has the inside scoop on this strategy. The plan actually involves everything from spilling the beans down to burning down the whole building, the house itself, if things do not go his way. Now, before tuende mbali sana, as usual, do me a favor, go down there, click on that subscribe button, then come back. Let us do our thing like we do. Top of Mr. Gachagua's plan strategy is basically rallying Mount Kenya support. Mount Kenya is Mr. Gachagua's home turf, and he is counting on them to keep himself from this impeachment. Mr. Gachagua has been touring the region, holding meetings and telling everyone that this impeachment is not just about him. This is about Mount Kenya's place in the government. He wants them to feel like this is a battle for their own political influence in this country. He's pushing a narrative that if he falls, then Mount Kenya will also end up losing. He is also putting pressure on the region's MPs from Mount Kenya, letting them know that if they vote against him, they will be betraying their own people. He is trying to make it hard, really hard for anyone in Mount Kenya to support this impeachment without facing major backlash and consequences from the people. This is not just about a fight for his political survival. He is making it a fight for the whole region of Mount Kenya, the whole Murima region. He's counting on regional pride to keep the people loyal to him. The other tactic that he's employing is basically building alliances. You know, Gachagua knows that he cannot just rely on Mount Kenya to protect him from this stuff. So he's reaching out to other people, other leaders in the political game. He's been talking to big names like Kalonzo Musyoka and Eugene Wamalwa, trying to form alliances that will help him block the impeachment, or at least slow it down a little bit. He is playing smart, expanding his support base, so it is harder for his opponents to unite against him. This move is not just about surviving this impeachment either. Gachagua is actually thinking long term, trying to set up alliances that will help him in future political battles, regardless of how this thing goes. Now, he's trying to make sure that he is not alone in this fight and that he has enough allies to keep the impeachment at bay. Now, Gachagua is also playing the numbers game in Parliament, because the impeachment vote needs at least 2/3 majority in Parliament in order for it to go through. Mr. Gachagua's team is actually working really hard to make sure that this does not happen. You know, they're reaching out to MPs across party lines, trying to get them to either support Gachagua or just stay away from the vote altogether so they do not get a 2/3 majority. Now, if enough MPs decide to skip the vote, then they will not hit the 2/3 majority mark, and the whole thing falls apart. Gachagua's team is making deals, offering incentives, and pulling all strings that they can in order to keep the numbers in their favor. They are especially focusing on MPs from the Mount Kenya region, reminding them that voting against Mr. Gachagua could cost them politically. The strategy is simple. If they cannot get the numbers, then the impeachment will not go through. By turning this into a numbers game, Gachagua is actually making it really tough for his opponents to succeed in their quest to impeach him. Strategy number 4 actually involves bringing in the international community. He is not just focused on the Kenyan political scene. He is also reaching out to the international community, especially the Western diplomats. He's warning them that his impeachment could lead to unrest and instability in this country. He's actually pointing to the recent protests as a sign that things could even be messier if he is removed as the VP. Mr. Gachagua wants them to see him as a stabilizing force, someone who can keep the peace in this country. By doing this, he actually hopes to win some support from at least make some foreign embassies stay neutral on the issue of impeachment. If the international community sees his removal as a risk to the Kenyan stability, they might put pressure on his opponents to back off of this idea. He knows that international approval can make a big difference in domestic politics, and he is actually playing that card to his advantage. Finally, Gachagua is making a personal appeal to President Dr. William Ruto, an appeal that looks and sounds very much like blackmail or guilt tripping. He's actually reminding Dr. Ruto of the promises that they made to each other and the Mount Kenya region during the campaigns of these past elections when they were running together. He's telling Dr. Ruto that letting the impeachment go through would actually be seen as an act of betrayal, especially to the Mount Kenya region that helped him win the presidency. Mr. Gachagua is also suggesting that removing him could cause more political problems than it solves. Without him, Dr. Ruto might lose support from Mount Kenya voters and face more instability within the government. He is trying to make Ruto see that keeping him around is the safer option in the long run. He's hoping that this personal connection will be enough to stop the impeachment from going any further. Mr. Gachagua knows he's facing a big impeachment threat, but he's not about to roll over just like that. His Samson option strategy shows he is ready to bring the whole house down if he goes down. He's about to spill all the beans, make life so tough for Dr. Ruto and the Kenya Kwanza government that winning the 2027 elections for him would be virtually impossible. He's trying to make the stakes so high, way higher for anyone even thinking about pushing forward with the whole impeachment. The goal here is to get enough people, both locally and internationally, to think twice about the consequences of pushing him out of government. He's letting his opponents know that removing him will not be that easy. If they go for it, they will have to deal with some serious political fallout. His plan mixes political strategy with big threats, making everyone reconsider if impeaching him is really worth it. Now he is making sure that everybody knows he's ready for a fight and would not back down or go down quietly.